I'm Tracy from Jivana. Since we are in the holiday season, I just wanted to show you what I do with my leftover turkey. I'm taking here, I have the turkey carcass. I've already taken all the meat off the bone. And what I'm going to do is just put it in just a big pot of water, and I'm going to make bone broth. So this is great to have on hand. For freezing, you just, when this is all done, we're going to put it in mason jars or Ziploc bags, throw it in the freezer, and then you'll have a good gallon or so of homemade bone broth to use later on in your recipes. So first thing, turn on the stove. I just use the whole carcass, and even any leftover meat or skin that's on it is fine. Just throw it in the pot. Nothing is going, we'll strain it all off anyway, so it doesn't matter if there's extra stuff hanging off. It's no big deal. We just want to get the nutrients to soak into the broth. Next, what I add is I'm going to throw in carrots. And again, this is all for just flavor and for the medicinal value of the vegetables or herbs that I'm going to put in. So it will all get strained out at the end, so don't worry about the chunks. A big couple stalks of organic celery. Onion. I've already chopped up about one full onion here. And I'm throwing in 2 big chunks of peeled ginger. I personally like ginger. Also, it's really good for you, for your digestive system. It's very good for Vata season because ginger is warming, and it helps stimulate the digestive system. It's very grounding, especially for Vata dosha and Vata season. If you want something a little more heating, then you'd use dry ginger as opposed to fresh ginger. But you can use it per taste because this will impart some ginger flavor to your broth. Not a lot though. You have to remember that when you use the broth, your own recipe is going to have its own flavor. So this isn't going to give you tons of flavor, just a little bit of flavor. But if you like ginger, you'll like this broth. But add it per your own taste. And then lastly, well not lastly, not quite, just some salt. And I have some peppercorns in here as well, so I'm going to throw in some of those. And then I keep an herb garden in my windowsill. So I'm going to cut off some fresh oregano and thyme and throw that in. So just clip off a few of those. And you could take the leaves off and put the leaves on their own, or I'm just going to throw it in whole. No big deal, because again, like I said, we're going to end up straining everything off anyway. And the longer you let this cook, the more hearty the broth is going to be. So you could cook it for just a few hours if you want, or you could cook it even overnight at a low temperature on a simmer. I'm going to probably cook it for a good 8 to 12 hours. So we'll see you back when it's done. Okay, we're back to the turkey bone broth here, and this cooked for about 12 hours, so you can see it here. And I pretty much picked out all the big turkey chunks and already threw those away, but not all the veggies and stuff that I threw into it. So I'm going to just put this through a colander into another big stock pot and just strain all the chunk stuff out. So we're going to start by doing that. So there's quite a bit that came out from that. Toss all of that into the bucket there. And then I'm just going to go back and forth a little bit with the broth, just to make sure that I get all of those any solids out, because if you don't want any of the solid particles in your broth, then you just want to strain it back and forth a few times. And if you want to really make sure that you don't have any solids, you can even put a piece of cheesecloth in your colander, and that will really make sure that you weed out any of those solids. So I'm pretty confident though that just going back and forth a couple times, and I'm good with that. I just take and put the broth into mason jars. So these are a quart each, and just fill them up. And then I put those into the freezer. You can also use Ziploc bags in whatever quantity you like, either quart or gallon or whatever works good for you, and then toss those in the freezer or refrigerator for like a week. They would be good in the refrigerator, and then you can pull those out and use them for whatever you want in your cooking. Like I'm going to use one tonight for potato soup. So I have a full huge stock pot right now full of fresh turkey bone broth, so I can freeze it, use it, so that's great. Now after every holiday meal, or anytime you make a chicken or turkey or ham or whatever it is that you make, you can have a whole fresh pot of bone broth or chicken stock or whatever it is that you make.